Hey there, what's up? If this is your first time here, thank you. Thank you for visiting my channel. Thank you for watching the videos. But first things first, I want you to like this video. I want you to subscribe to my channel and follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Coach Franco Rolyoda. I'm on Instagram, @FrancoRolyoda. And I'm on TikTok and I'm on Twitter. I use the same name. So, I'll see you there. Now, let's watch this episode. Okay, let's go. In 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Combat Sports Weekly. This is Coach Franco Rolyoda, and today with us are the boys of Destroy MNL, Carl De Mesa and JC Reyes. And of course, we have a special guest, the new member of the Titos of Fighting, si Tito Raymund Marasigan po. Welcome. Welcome, Tito Raymond.
Yay!
Ayan, true to form.
Dapat yung intro natin next. Yung next episode gusto ko may weight na. Yung next episode nyo, aabangan ko dapat may weight. Weighing
Yan, gawa tayo nun. Gawa tayo nun.
Dapat yan ang contribution ko for the night.
Yes.
Yung intro nyo for the episode, parang fighter din, di ba?
Oo, di ba? In the accented light corner with perfect resolution and a drink in hand, weighing in. Di ba?
Accented.
Welcome.
Lightweight. Ito sa weight class ka, lightweight.
Lightweight. Okay, doon tayo sa lightweight.
A level up from lightweight.
Diba?
Welcome. Thank you so much for being here, Raymund Marasigan.
Diba? So we're going to talk about the recent events in the world of combat sports. So we will start it off we'll start off with local boxing news. Everyone got into it. Ymir Marshall's tweet regarding the current state of amateur boxing. So here's the thing. He was really clamoring for support. For more than anything, kasi he started enumerating yung gastos ng mga national athletes, and for everyone who's gonna watch and listen to this, Ymir Marshall is an amateur fighter representing the Philippines in the next Tokyo Olympics, but at the same time, he is a professional boxer under MP Promotions, so that's the promotions owned by Manny Pacquiao.
MP.
Tapos he's training under Freddie Roach, and parang he broke down a lot of the expenses needed in order to bid for an Olympic campaign. Tapos, syempre, si ABAP, si Amateur Boxing Association of the Philippines, and the Philippine Sports Commission, syempre, they would have to reiterate na he is getting so-and-so amount. So sinabi rin naman ni Ymir Marshall na I think they came up with 43,000 plus 30,000. So that's 73,000 pesos a month. Diba? So for a national athlete, yun yung budget, or yun yung...
If you want to get the high level sparring partner, 43,000 pesos is bayad pa lang sa sparring partner. So
Na pro level.
So kulang dun
Per month.
Per month, man.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's meals, that's like travel fare, that's panlaba, ganon, laundry, and everything.
Parang ano pa raw
in a foreign country.
They have ano pa raw, parang 43 plus 30 kasi he's also a member of Navy or Air Force, so he also gets an allowance for that. Kaya they come up with 73.
Air Force. So sweldo niya na sa
Sweldo, okay.
as a soldier, a reservist.
Ano yun if you're
But that
if you're a
shouldn't
member of
do
a
his,
national team,
diba?
you're required to enlist. Parang part of your ano yun. So he gets required yan lahat. So it's either you become an enlisted member of the Navy, the Army, or Air Force. Alam ko yun
Parang
Basta yung ano na yun, yung tatlong branches.
enlisted
Air Force.
coach as NCO, ganyan. So
Basta
yes.
ano ka, either reservist or enlisted officer ka. Basta required yun. Tsaka meron silang required time to train.
Okay.
To train with their unit. May ano yan, may
Mag-basic ka man
provisions
lang.
yan. Oo, may ganun yan, may lahat sila. Lahat na national athletes natin ganun. So and then here comes, so everyone gave their opinions, they gave their support. A lot of people criticized him. One of the figures din kasi was Snow Badwa. Si Snow Badwa he's a journalist, pero ang alam ko ano yan sikat siya sa mga blind item shit. Pero kasi marami kasi nagkakatotoo dun sa blind item niya. Oo, marami nagkakatotoo. Tapos he's more known in the world of basketball. Medyo basketball yung forte niya. So, PBA stuff.
Local
So ball
boxing.
sports.
Oh, ball
Ball
sports. And then he tweeted na Yumir Marshall was being a diva, na pro fighter siya kaya siya umalis sa bakuran ng ABAP. This is from his Twitter, okay? Na sinagot ni Pacquiao ang gastos niya sa US kaya maswerte siya sa kesa sa ibang Olympian, na binigyan di umano siya ni Pacquiao ng 11 million pesos. Allegedly yun, ah. And then 43
Allegedly kasi
Oo.
why would he be complaining if he had 11 million, right?
43,000 na allowance ni Marshall take home na niya in full at wala siyang nilalabas sa training. Na ang average Filipino executive ay kumikita lamang ng 40,000 pesos a month. That's debatable. No. Na ang gobyerno ay baon sa utang.
Which company is this?
Dahil sa pandemya. Number 7, na maraming kailangan ng gamot sa COVID. Okay, so syempre, yan. I mean, sige. Pero merong isang local boxing vlogger, si Pau Salud. One of our friends, si Pau Salud of Paucas Sports.
Our friends.
Our friend. Na nag-react na hinamon niya ng debate si Snow Badwa. Hinamon niya ng debate. So, pero it's more of an intellectual discussion. Yun na yung wording niya siguro. Intellectual discussion. Pero sabi niya debate to discuss these things. Si Snow Badwa, sabi niya, hindi tayo magka-level. Hindi tayo magka-level. Hindi ko sasagutin yan. Hindi ko ano yan. Sabi ko, wow.
Is it kind of like the Keith Peterson retort na I don't referee undercards thing?
Oo, di ba? I don't referee undercards.
Kay Dominic.
Di ba? Kay Dominic Reyes. Pero,
come on.
From within the community kasi, from a fighters and coaches perspective kasi, I will always say na 43 or 73,000. Sige, let's go to 43 na lang. 43,000 pesos is better than nothing. Pero it's not enough if you want to win an Olympic medal. That's plain and simple. That's not true.
Exactly.
I mean, this is also another eye-opening. The reason why I want to discuss this is because it's an eye-opener for a lot of Filipinos who don't know what's happening within the ranks of our national athletes. Siyempre, sinasabi rin niya, nag-tweet, feeling ko, dinilit niya yung tweet niya yun na parang sinabi niya bakit daw yung ibang atleta hindi nagre-reklamo. So I answered some of his tweets. Hindi niya rin ako sinagot so hindi kami siguro magka-level. Hindi kami magka-level. Sinabi ko na syempre, they're not hindi sila magre-reklamo kasi pag nagreklamo sila, tatanggalin sila. If this is your livelihood, diba? If this is your livelihood, and you've dedicated yourself for flag and country and you've enlisted yourself as a national athlete, you're not allowed to do anything else. So, you're basically dependent.
It's bad for the the organization.
Diba? You're gonna bite the hand that feeds you. Syempre, common sense na yun. Wala kang maririnig. Another one is preparing for the Olympics entails so many things. Hindi lang yan magte-training ka. So for example, you're gonna train in boxing. It's not just training in boxing. It's having the proper nutrition, the proper coaches, the proper level of recovery, the amount of rest that you're getting, training partners, equipment, di ba? Aside from that, yung daily gastos mo pa, daily na pagkain, ano yung bayad mo sa renta mo, ano yung, di ba? There are so many things na definitely is worth more than 43,000 pesos. Now,
Ayan. Sige. Muay Thai,
okay,
sorry.
so madaming Muay Thai na magagaling sa MMA. I mean, kasama sa skills nila. Madaming nagtitrain sa saan nga ba
striking, ganyan.
Hindi, sa Asia, sa Thailand.
Sa Thailand,
Ba't walang Thai na MMA artist din na sikat?
UFC. Yung sikat. Merong isa ngayon, si Loma Lokbunmi.
Ayun.
The only Thai.
Homegrown.
The only Thai.
The only Thai.
And girl. Girl siya.
Okay. Sigurado ba tayo na? Hindi, joke.
Okay, kaibigan namin yung manager.
Baka saktan ako doon.
Pero I think for some reason siguro hindi ko alam kung ba't wala sa radar nila yung UFC, mas more on sa mga international Muay Thai or kickboxing events sila
kasi I'm just asking kasi malaking pera yun
Yeah.
Diba? Pareho tayong parang poor Asian country. Tapos nakikita natin yung training nila, wala din aircon, diba? Tapos
pero ang pinaka-weird doon, maraming UFC fighters na nagpupunta ng Thailand to train.
Diba? Parang
Train.
walang Ang dami.
Valentina
From the
Shevchenko.
start, 'di ba? From the start.
Yeah.
Dami. Si Valentina.
Yeah,
Yan.
Valentina Shevchenko, UFC champ.
Tiger
Nanalo
Muay
ba yung
Thai.
kapatid niya?
Hindi.
Kanina?
Kanina.
Hindi, Chong.
Hindi.
Yung triangle.
Okay.
Doon sila mahina eh.
Sayang,
Actually, si Antonina lang naman mahina doon. Si Valentino malakas sa grappling.
Kayo namang dalawa, paano kayo napunta sa... Kasi ako late ako eh. Kay Mark lang namin nalaman. Paano kayo napunta sa mixed martial arts?
Sige, JC.
Ako kasi,
Magandang kwento yung kay JC.
Since 2000, ano lang eh, 2005, 2006, na-lurker na ako sa mga pre-Facebook pa to, mga forums na mga martial arts.
Mga sinauna pa.
Tapos may mga nakikita ako doon. May nasalihan ako before. Pangalan ng group was PinoyMMA.com. Na doon nakiki-engage ako of what's happening in MMA. Pero wala akong masyadong clue. As in, sobrang casual na. Hindi ko nga alam kung pag nasa ground na. I had no idea what was happening. Pero tapos sinisit ako, ano ba yan? Pag yung sinasabi ko doon sa mga yakapan. Bakit ganun? Ang boring naman pag nasa ground. One day, merong isang black belt pala ng jiu-jitsu sa Philippines sumagot sa akin. Anong boring? Subukan mo kaya yan? Hinahamon ko. Sabi ko, black belt yata to. Hindi pwedeng patulan.
May si Alvin.
Si Alvin Aguilar, yan. Tapos, eventually, naisip ko, baka para mas maintindihan ko, why not train? So, mga 2007, I started training. On and off hanggang ngayon.
Saang gym? Yung una mong gym?
Dito sa Marikina. May nakita akong gym dito before.
Saan?
Siya,
Mike's. Hindi naman Mike's.
Isa sa mga pinuntahan ko yung Mike's.
Ganda ng Mike's laki.
Pero
may cage sila.
Yeah. Pero
Premier yan.
before, nung nag-start sila, walang cage dun.
Talaga?
Nandun kaya sa, maliit lang yung gym nila before eh.
Okay.
First floor lang, nandun sa katabi ng mga...
Sa dance studio.
Machine. Sa baba, meron dong area. Dun sa kung nasan yung nila ngayon, yung parang wall climbing area nila.
Okay.
Dun lang kayo magro-roll or magbo-boxing or mag-muay thai dati. Nung mga panahon yung mga 2007. Tapos, palipat-lipat ng gyms yun. Eventually, naisip na namin ni Carl nga tong podcast.
Ikaw, Carl, how did the sport call you?
I was a nerd, man. I was a culture journalist. Sobrang mas arts yung coverage ko yan. Music, literature, and entertainment. In around 2010, 2011, pero matagal na ako nanonood ng UFC kasi. Around 2010, 2011, I think I was in GMA doing lifestyle. Tapos may nagsabi, dude, wala yung sports guy. Pwede ba ikaw muna mag-cover nung whatever, I think it was first time nila dito. Nanonood ka naman UFC, di ba? Mahilig ka naman sa sapakat. So I went. I'm like, okay, first few times I was like, okay, maybe, I was so disappointed with what I wrote. And I was like, maybe I should take 1 or 2 jiu-jitsu classes so I know what the heck is going on. Ganyan din yung kay JC, what the hell is going on in the ground? It seems complex, but it also seems gay. Parang it probably not gay, so I should educate myself. So I took a few jiu-jitsu classes and it was downhill from there, man.
Saan naman yung classes
ako.
mo? Which gym?
I had moved to Makati na. So the first one was with Origins Jiu-Jitsu. It was small boutique team. Mostly gi people. Tapos nawala yung classes nila at that location. So lumipat ako in another gym. And then eventually I landed in a catch wrestling gym.
What is catch wrestling? Is that yung kay Khabib? Is that the same?
It's kind of the same, yeah. Sambo yung kanila. Si catch wrestling
Why is it called
is a bit
catch
more
wrestling?
American. Ano kasi yan yung roots ng catch wrestling? Anong tawag sa kanya? Catch as catch can. Hindi as if you think of jiu-jitsu, they call it the gentle art. Si catch wrestling, they call it the violent art. Mostly because they force the submissions, they force the positions. Parang kaya malalaki yung wrestlers. Talagang power sa power yung labanan instead of Jiu-Jitsu pegs itself as the gentle art in terms of mas flowing, ganun. Actually, it's not. Hindi siya gentle. The first few times I took it up, it's like, kala ko ba gentle art ito?
In all your years of practicing the sport, have you fought professionally or sa amateur?
Ako, I competed in grappling twice, actually. Oo. I never fought in striking. Although kami ni JC ngayon.
Have you had any serious
Ang-
injuries?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Serious meaning breaks
what's
and
like
stuff.
What's the worst
Ganyan.
injuries?
Oh, I had the beginning of cauliflower ears. And
Okay.
I didn't
Well,
know.
how does it work? What do you mean the beginning? Does it develop over a few
yeah.
years, a few weeks, a few months?
For me, it developed over a year. Ano kasi siya eh.
What causes it?
The rubbing of the ears, which are sensitive with lots of nerves on the mats and on other people's bodies.
Okay. Akala ko it was dahil sa punches.
And,
So it's rubbing-
It's less that. Kasi mas sustain
Okay.
dapat yung matagal. Parang dinidikdik talaga rather than yung impact na ano.
Does it have any effect on the hearing?
Oh, yes. Kasi may ano siya, Rings. May nana siya. It's actually
So,
fluids built up.
yeah,
So kasama
Does it
dun
heal?
yung nana.
Over
You need to
time?
drain it.
you
Mine, it
drain
needed
it,
surgery.
pero yung ears mo made-deform talaga
Deform na.
after you drain
That's
it.
why, nilalagay parang ganito.
Oh,
DC,
yes,
diba?
yes. I see the wrestlers.
Wrestling,
Oh,
So yung ganun.
the
Parang
headgear.
earmuffs or
Oo.
something. Yeah.
So mine needed minor surgery. Kaya pala nahihilo ko. I didn't know it was the beginning of cauliflower ear. Because usually it takes years and years to develop. Pero dahil nga hindi naman ako athlete when I started, sensitive yung
May
tenga.
vertigo yan eh, di ba? If it
Man.
affects hearing, may vertigo.
May vertigo.
Yeah.
Oo.
Yeah.
Plus,
JC, ikaw, ano mo? Injuries?
sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Ako, actually, like yung nakwento nga earlier na pinipintasan ko nung una yung grappling and stuff. So, the first thing I did nung nagte-train na ako was to join a grappling competition. If you,
Oo nga.
ngayon, naririnig nyo yung YouTube Jiu-Jitsu, YouTube grappling. I was one of the first back then. Yung grappling ko, I was just checking them on YouTube. YouTube nung 2007.
Kaya ko
Halos
yan.
wala pang
Oo.
laman. Kaya ko yan, ganyan. Come tournament time, hindi ako mabot sa bronze kasi yung second match ko, akala ko nabalian ako ng rotator cuff.
Oh.
Dito,
What's the rotator cuff?
dito sa may
Shoulder.
may shoulder.
Okay.
If your opponent does either kimura lock on you,
Yung pag ganon, Rems.
yung pag ganon, at tas hindi ka nag-tap, mapupuwersa siya enough na parang, I guess siguro nagpasa siya. Hala ko nga magsasnap eh. So, parang, hindi ko alam yung gagawin that time. So, parang 1 or 2 months akong pilay.
Oh my God.
Hanggang tinetherapy siya
Actually,
ng madalas.
oo.
Grabe.
Ako, the grappling injuries are more sustained. Parang they go away. Parang they don't really go away. Parang they kind of heal, but they're niggling there. Yung sa striking, because I haven't really competed. Pero yung mga sparring sa striking, masakit siya pag nagkamali. Sipa ka, ganyan, papasa. Pero mawawala.
Yeah.
Kasi mawawala, halos cosmetic lang kasi hindi ka naman napuruhan eh. Pero yung grappling, kunyari my left arm, my left shoulder has been badly hurt so many times. Hindi naman ever nabali or anything, pero minsan kasi you don't wanna tap kasi for some reason mataas yung ego mo or parang gusto mong lumaban. Na-lost ko na tayong count na kasi pag white belt ka medyo like half of straight you're always getting tapped. So minsan ayaw mo lang mag-tap. So ang gago-gago mo lang na ayoko mag-tap. Sige na nga. Tapos may gagano na lang bigla.
Oh my God.
As in, like, what the fuck was that?
Was that 2019, Carl? Yung sa event ni Coach Franco,
ni
sa
Coach
Artes
Franco.
Marte,
Oh.
nag-pop
Artes
yung
Sabe.
arm.
Yeah. Ayaw mag-tap kasi nung dude.
Ayaw mag-tap nung dude. Nasa sila, parang events area ng isang mall sa South. Tahimik kasi intense yung match. Hindi nag-tap. Yung pop rinig sa buong mall. Nag-pop
Oh my
yung
God.
arm.
Chong. Oo.
Grabe.
Tapos everybody wins like, oh shit. Tapos kasi apparently ayaw niya mag-top dahil sinasabi dun sa girlfriend. Sinasabi ng girlfriend niya, kaya ba yan? Kaya mo pa? Kaya ba? Kaya mo pa? Tsuk.
For being a guy, nandun yung girl.
Sana pinakasalan siya nun, ano?
Actually, galit na galit nga yung mga tropa nung dude. Like, ba yan?
Kahit yung coach
Bakit
nung
mo alam yan?
dude nagalit kasi nga.
O yung coach galit na galit kasi syempre
Oo.
parang, ano ba you live to fight another day, man.
You're not the same. At this point, 2021, who is your GOAT? Who is your Michael
The
Jordan?
GOAT sa UFC?
Sa MMA.
Sa MMA?
Mm.
Wait, ikaw, who is your GOAT now?
Oh, I don't, wala akong ano.
Wala ka bang
I'm
GOAT?
not qualified.
Did you feel
I've never
Khabib
thought
was-
about it. I'm just asking random questions.
Okay. That's a good question though, no? Ngayon, it used to be Khabib kasi siya lang yung active tapos undefeated.
Okay,
And then
Khabib, good choice. Good
Yeah,
choice.
and then he fucking retired, man. He bought sheep and goats and he bought an
Literal
MMA
goat.
rush.
Yan, literal goats.
Literal goats. Magpapastol daw siya, bro.
Okay. JC,
Like-
sinong ano mo?
Yung basis.
Meron na pala ako ha. Meron na ako. Bigla ako
Sa akin
naisip.
kasi
Okay.
depende sa weight division eh. Parang, pero I mean, if no one replaces GSP.
Yeah, good,
Yes.
good. Safe. Wait. Do we consider
I mean, and
John
I'm a
Jones?
diehard
Ako
Khabib
John
fan, ah.
Jones.
John Jones ba?
Hindi kasali yung bad attitude ha. I don't like him as a
yeah.
person.
Paano yung drugs, man? Tsaka yung
Yun na nga. Hindi kasali
nabangga
yun
na
eh.
ng
Hindi.
buntis.
'Di ba? Hindi kasali yung hindi naman natin
Bad
sinabi
attitude.
na kailangan good attitude, good person
That's
ka
true.
eh, 'di ba?
That's
That's true.
I'm sure a lot of our heroes in art and music and film
Oh, yeah.
are not really,
Yeah.
'di ba? Parang if we consider Michael Jackson or whatever, I don't
Oh
know.
my God. Oo nga. How do we separate
diba,
the ano, diba?
mahirap yung ganong question. Pero
Yeah.
yung skill for skill, wala pa yata lumapit kay John. Akala ko si Adesanya eh.
Ay, hindi
Oo
pa.
nga eh.
Hindi
Pa
pa,
eh.
man,
Pero hindi,
pa.
well, si John
Nakikita
Jones
eh.
kasi may kita natin if he's really the GOAT that he is pag lumaban na siya ng heavyweight niya.
Heavyweight, yeah.
I
Kasi
think
si
he's
Adesanya,
heavyweight right now, no?
Yeah, he is.
Parang
He is
last
big
photo
right now.
na
He's so
pinost niya
huge.
parang 230, 240
Ang funny
siya.
nga, guys, di ba, ang laki-laki ni John Jones, pero ganun pa rin yung kanyang calves.
Yung legs niya, ang liit pa rin.
Parang sinitsyan chicken legs.
Oh, itutuloy ba natin kahit wala si coach? May question ako sa calf kicks eh.
Oo nga eh.
Ayun.
Asan na ba si Franco?
Pabalik na daw siya, nag-switch siya ng internet.
Maganda question yan. I-reserve mo
okay.
kay Coach Franco.
Raymond, you have questions. Let's go. Let's go.
Initial questions na nasagot na nilang dalawa. What got you into MMA? How did you get into it? Your first gym? What you remember from your first fights? Tapos, who is your GOAT at this time, 2021?
At this time. Okay.
Okay.
Dito, I got into martial arts because my family was a very sporty family. It was more of an activity on the side. So the first thing I learned was boxing. So I've been boxing since I was 7 years old.
In what gym?
Elorde. Batang Elorde ako. Batang Elorde. As in, Elorde Sukat. This is like Elorde
Yung
Sukat.
main, ano?
The main gym.
big
The main
one,
gym.
Yes.
So I started boxing and then it was just one of those things na you would do sparingly. Like summer, yeah, wala kang gagawin. Yan.
Sparingly talaga.
Oh, sparingly talaga. And then I just thought, akala ko it was normal. I thought it was normal. And I realized later on na it wasn't pala. Na a lot of kids would play video games or do other things. Ako, I would be in school. I would do things at home. And then my hobby would revolve around basketball and boxing. Yun siya. And then, syempre, as my curiosity with martial arts grew, syempre, I met Bruce Lee, Steven Seagal, Chuck Norris. Yan na. So, yun na. Doon na nagsimula. That's where basically the journey started. And then everything culminated in college when I met Alvin Aguilar. So, that's when I met Alvin. I met Richard Lasprilla. And then Alan Ko. And then I initially, prior to that, I met a couple of OGs ng Sarian. Sarian is an old Filipino martial art street fighting system. Sarian means sariling pamamaraan by Bob Cosart. So yun ang ano niya.
Nakakatawa yung
Basically, ano siya, anything goes.
Anything goes. So it was Sarian is a combination of Boxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, Jiu-Jitsu, and Jeet Kune Do.
Mm.
Yung
So,
kalaban niya walang kasarian eh.
walang kasari.
Kalaban niya yan.
Yun ang pinakakalaban niya.
Yan ang
'Di ba? Wala
pinakakalaban.
siyang laban doon. So, ayun, I met the Sarian boys, the Sarian group. I grew up in that culture, and then I met sila Alvin, Sixto Carlos. Sixto Carlos is one of the premier guys in terms of hand-to-hand combat and weapons training. Tsaka Arnis. Yan, parang Wikipedia ng Arnis yan, si Sixto Carlos. You got immersed na yan, judo, wrestling, then a lot of jiu-jitsu. And then afterwards, after graduating college, I stopped training for like 2.5 years, got really big, like fat. Then afterwards came back. I thought na I couldn't do it anymore. Pero wala. Encouragement, constant training, discipline, consistency. Yun, nagtuloy-tuloy na. That's when I started dabbling and fighting in boxing, in Muay Thai, kickboxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, MMA tournaments. From 2007 up to 2013 or 14, my life was that. So I would go to work, train in the evening, and then every spare time that I would have, my calendar years were that. Boxing tournament. After 2 months, may Muay Thai tournament doon. After a few months or a month, Jiu-Jitsu tournament naman. Yun yung buhay ko.
How's the money in that
Absolutely
industry?
nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But how do you train? I mean, if there's no money,
With a lot of difficulty.
With a lot of difficulty and sacrifices. So this is the realities of
You train for the love of it.
I did it for the love of it. Nobody understood what I was doing. That's probably one of the reasons why the mixed martial arts and the jiu-jitsu community is a very tight-knit and a
Very
close-knit
very
community.
insular siya, bro. Oh.
Kasi these are individuals who lead lives. They have to do the things that they have to do, their responsibilities. Pero they still find time to do the things that they want to. I was part
so
of
you
that
need a day
community.
job
Yeah, I had a day
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Kaya nga,
Music
while
lovers.
you
Survive the
train.
sport without it,
yeah. So there were so many people surprised when they found out na I had a day job. Na they all thought na I was doing this full time. Kasi most of the things that they saw were me competing locally, internationally. Parang sabi, you're all over the place. Sabi ko, yeah, okay lang. Kasi for example, magtatrabaho ko, sige, punta tayo sa Taiwan. Uy, may tournament sa Taiwan, laban ako sa Taiwan. Ganon.
Yeah. And just to clarify, Rames, paid yun You pay to be in those tournaments.
Oo. Yeah, you register,
Normally,
then
ganun
you pay
siya.
to be in those tournaments. The scene was just building. The community was still
Hindi
in
pa
its
ganun
infancy.
diba?
It was growing. I wasn't really telling people what I was doing. Diba? Kasi parang ang weird eh. This was a time wherein, let me paint you a clearer picture. I started jogging around BGC at a time wherein wala pang fun runs doon. So that was probably 2005. So this is one of my favorite stories. I was jogging around High Street. Yung security guard ng isang building, pinagtatawanan ako na nagja-jogging ako doon sa paligid na yan.
Ngayon, joggingan na siya.
Ngayon, joggingan na talaga siya. Diba? Diba? Ganun siya.
Who's
So,
laughing now?
Diba? As in, I would jog there after work. For example, I worked late. Wala nang gyms na bukas. So, yun na yun. So, during that time, so commute mode ako. Every time I'd commute, I was that funny guy in the office with a huge bag. Ako yung kinaiinisan sa shuttle kasi ang laki-laki ng bag ko. Pag pauwi na, yung bag ko, yun yung tulugan ko sa jeep. Yung medyo unang kasi bugbog ka na. So ganun. That was my life. Yun yung buhay ko. My life was dedicated on doing my job so that I could help my family.
Yeah.
And then the spare time that I had, I'd put it all on training. So lahat ng pwede kong itipid nun para bumili ng gamit, mag-ipon para mag-compete. Kasi for example, you want to excel. How could I excel if I'm not training? And then during that time, there were limited gyms. And then afterwards, habang tumatagal, I was able to build another really good relationship with Tiger City Boxing Gym in Mandaluyong. Kasi si Coach Tex Gonzaga is one of the really, really good coaches I had in boxing. As in, the longer I stayed in the fight circuit, the more people recognize you. Minsan, hindi na hobbyist yung pinapalaban sa akin. Mga ex-pro na. The only difference lang naman between an amateur and a professional fighter is a piece of paper from Games and Amusements Board.
Yeah,
Yun lang. Papel lang yun. So pag nag-expire yun, amateur ka na. So pwede ka na sumali sa amateur circuit nila.
Actually,
So,
wala
yun
ka
na.
na lisensya eh.
Yeah.
Wala ka ng lisensya eh.
Who's
So,
your GOAT?
Well,
It's
nag-retire
such a
na yung
difficult
GOAT ko,
question,
si Khabib eh.
Oh, yun, sabi sa'yo eh.
Ah,
diba?
I'm not, when people ask me of my GOAT, I always tell them there's no one particular GOAT. There are GOATs in each era.
Yun nga.
So, for this era, it has to be Khabib. Pero,
Kanina coach, we were kind
pero
of
another one pala si
debating
GSP.
about
GSP
GSP.
ako,
syempre.
personal choice ko, GSP. The
We were
main
kind of
reason
debating
why...
about Bones kasi should he be in the, di ba? Should he be in the GOAT picture with all the drugs and the
definitely.
hitting of pregnant women?
Definitely. I put John Jones in one of my GOATs. Especially sa
light
sa
heavyweight.
light heavyweight division.
Light heavyweight, oh.
You just imagine he was beating
There
people
was-
up
yeah.
with no training. He was
Yun nga eh.
partying. He was
Coke
John
up,
Jones
all coked
is-
up and
man.
stuff. Tapos,
Oh.
panalo pa siya sa laban.
para siyang
Oo,
ano, next level BJ Penn si John Jones.
Oo nga.
Okay? BJ Penn is another character that he's another fighter that really relied on his talent and grit.
You
Tapang
mean
lang
yung
talaga.
career ni John Jones is yung trajectory ng career niya is pa-BJ pa na din.
Oo nga, no?
Magtitiptoe na siya sa
Oo,
next fight.
Tiptoe,
Yeah,
di ba?
malapit
Nakagano
na.
kami.
Ay,
Pero yun
ganun
yun.
na.
Kasi, pero mo, BJ Penn would train kung trip lang niya.
Oo.
Yun na yun.
Tapos,
Would
I
train kung
think
trip
I
lang niya.
remember Dana, di ba, was always calling him yung
Yeah.
manager. Nagtitraining ba si BJ?
Nagtitraining.
Nagkaano ba siya?
I mean, even during the early days of BJ Penn, he would only train kung trip niya.
Oo.
There
basta
were
bolero.
times na then there was his knockout with yung basta naka-gray siya na shorts or parang spandex. He knocked
Yata,
out this Japanese guy. I forgot the
Gomi?
name of them.
Was it Gomi?
Takanori Gomi.
Takanori
Gomi,
Gomi.
yeah.
One of the backstories of that fight, BJ Penn was partying the night before.
Wala siyang
So he was hungover. So the Half Gracie team had to wake him up, then told him, "Hey, BJ, you gotta fight tonight." Tapos sabi niya, "No, may party tayong attendant, di ba? No, you have a fight tonight." So he fought, knocked out Takanori Gomi, then partied again. So
Let's go to the present. What do you guys think of the main card today?
Yeah.
main card.
262. We're now on
Balik na tayo
262.
dun.
Alam mo, medyo ano yan eh. Sige, ikaw muna Tito Raymond. Like what is the entertainment value level of like ikaw, I'm very curious, how long have you been watching MMA or combat sports in general?
Not seriously, very, very casually, maybe 10 years or more.
Wow, matagal na yun.
Matagal na.
And on TV, but no training, no nothing.
Okay,
Just a
okay
casual
na.
fan.
Tagal na.
tagal pa
Because
rin
it's
nun.
there when it was free.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
it was
23
free
pa, di ba?
on TV.
Hmm.
And then we played a couple of local fights. One in sa Makati Avenue.
A-Venue. Sa
Oh, sila.
A-Venue.
That was a big fight.
Oh, URCC siguro yun.
Oo nga, URCC.
URCC
When
yun,
was
malamang.
this, Tito Raymond?
We were right beside the stage. Parang, oh my God,
It's a fight.
URCC, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the one in sa SM EDSA.
Oh,
So we were
which
really
one?
backstage.
Itong sa...
Yung
sa
parang
dome
dome
nila?
ng SM
Dome,
North EDSA
yes,
ba to?
yes.
Is
The
this
Sky
the
Dome.
one? Ito ba? Sky Dome.
Skydome.
Ito ba
Skydome.
yung sponsored ng Tribal?
Yes.
Oh my God! Ano yun? Ang
URCC
tawag
yan,
dito?
di ba?
Oo, URCC din yun. Pero ang tawag nila doon, it was the Tribal Brawl Series.
Yes.
Ah,
It's
para
very
siya
sponsored by Tribal
brutal
lang.
in person. It's
Oo.
grabe.
Ano siya? Yun yung, what they call this? They did like an ultimate fighter, the ultimate fighter na nationwide. So, Tribal conducted tryouts Luzon, Visayas,
Oh,
Mindanao.
may drama eh. May drama.
Oo.
May drama.
So,
Fight,
so
Fight
yung
Farm ba to?
Hindi.
Hindi
No,
Fight
iba pa
Farm
yan.
to. Ano yun? Tribal Brawl. Yun yung
Tribal
pangalan
Brawl.
ng liga. So the culminating activity was like the best of Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao was going to fight there sa
Juke out there.
sa Skydome.
SM
Grabe.
Kaidom.
Grabe yun. Long time.
Did you enjoy that? What year was that?
Mga 2000, ano yun? 2013. 12 or 13 yun.
Hmm.
Kasi we coached the DEFTA contingent that fought there na ano sila. So it was J.R. Rolyoda, my brother, Arvin Chan, Mike Castro, and may isa pa. Basta 4 sila. Natuwan-tuwa kami kasi 4 na fighter namin na umabot sa semis. Tapos doon na sila, natalo na sila ng taga Mindanao tsaka ng Lakay. Yun.
Okay.
Grabe, ang tagal
Nice,
na.
Wait, Raym,
Pwede
so
na
what do you
palang
remember
nanonood.
from those events?
It was very
ito na
brutal.
yung fandom.
Kasi right in your face eh.
Yeah.
You can hear
Yun.
yung tama and they're sharing dressing rooms.
Yeah.
The fighter was on the next door. Yung kalaban mo na sa ko, this is
Crazy.
it
And
was
then you have
crazy. It was
to watch
crazy.
each other's faces, paglabas.
At tapos, yakapan kayo afterwards.
Yes,
That was your MMA, wow, astig.
Wow, that was long time ago. As in,
Oh.
you were able to, you were able to witness yung early stages
Early
of
stages.
MMA.
Yes, but
Especially
I
Philippines.
didn't know anybody by accident.
Mm.
We were playing the show part, the entertainment part. But we had like front row seats.
So how was it? Like, bukod sa brutal, like
Oo.
was it fun? Was it
Of course.
exciting?
Diba? Parang, it's like
Oh my
watching
God.
your TV pero live. You can smell the blood.
Yes. The sounds,
The
no, make a
sounds.
difference. Yeah.
Grabe.
Iba yung
diba?
sounds, diba? Iba yung sounds, iba yung thought.
Tapos it wasn't.
energy,
I
the
remember
crowd.
it wasn't a cage. So people would
Ring.
go. Lalampas
Was
ka
ring.
sa ring.
Oo.
Tumatapon
may
sa
ring.
ring.
Oo.
May
Meron
ring
pang mga
control.
tigatulak, di ba?
Oo.
May tagatulak.
Nag-referee ako dun.
Referee siya dyan.
Grabe. So, we were at the same venue pala.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Wait,
That
let's go back to 262.
Yeah, 262. Which one did you like, Tito Rhymes?
I like the main event.
Yeah.
Oliveira
Si
versus
Oliveira.
Chandler. Pero the other fights ba? Were you able to catch the other fights?
The main card, yeah. Most of it.
Yes. Let's start with Barboza.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yun, Edson
Burgos
Barboza.
Learned how to circle.
Mhm.
He usually just gets crowded, diba? Parang when he does his kicks, tapos pag na ano mo na yung kicks niya, nalampasan mo yun, you can beat him because he gasses out, diba?
Yes.
So this time, I think he learned how to circle.
Yeah.
It's excellent analysis, bro.
Oh, di ba?
Parang-
Kita nyo, kaya bagay si Tito
Because-
Raymond dito.
Because
Bagay
I like
talaga si Tito
Barboza
Raymond.
because
You
he's
like
very
Barboza.
flashy. He's
Yes.
for the casual fan, very flashy.
You remember
and-
the wheel kick KO, don't you?
Of course.
Ah.
Replay yun eh.
Si Edson
Replay.
Barboza,
Highlight reel yun eh.
ang human highlight reel ng UFC roster. Yan.
Diba?
Oh,
But
yeah.
if you crowd him, he just goes in a straight line backwards. He
may
doesn't
tawag
know how
kami
to
dyan.
circle.
Yeah, that's true.
But
That's true.
this time, ay natuto siya, di ba? Parang,
Di ba?
And interesting pa, this is his second fight sa featherweight.
Previously,
Previously, was from lightweight eh. So,
so he didn't have to cut so much. Tama ba?
No. He actually, saan ba
He cut
galing
more.
si Edson? He cut more. He
Okay.
fights at
More.
155, so he fought here at 145.
145.
So he
Did
probably
he get
has
lucky? Did he get lucky in this fight? Because he was
No.
fading na
I
eh.
don't think so.
No naman. Si Edson Barboza has been a really good technical fighter, striker ever
Ganda nga
since, 'di
nung-
ba? Sobrang maganda yung one of the yan ang pinaka bread and butter ni Edson Barboza, yung striking niya. Now
And leg kicks. You remember
leg
Gagey
kicks,
Barbosa?
yung mga wheel kicks niya. Most of his finishes are wheel kicks talaga. Yun yung ginagamit na pang highlight reel talaga ni UFC to promote their organization. Now, with this fight with Shane Burgos, a lot of people thought that it was a phantom knockout, pero it's
yeah,
not.
pa
Okay,
weird KO pa nga daw sabi nung
weird
iba.
KO down.
Hindi
Now,
siya,
this
hindi siya.
is what happens. The best analogy for this is the mind is willing, but the body
Yes.
is not following. Okay?
Yeah.
Yun yung pinaka-analogy dyan. Yan yung tipong, alam niyo yung late reaction, kung nasanay kasi yung mga tao na when they see a punch,
Yun na yun.
and if it's perfectly timed, people go down. Pero there are punches we're in, like for example, this sequence. So Barboza, two punch combination. It took a while before it sank in. Now, what happens there is that's the time we're in. Your adrenaline gives way to the nervous system reaction. So nag-react na yung bumaba yung level ng adrenaline mo, tapos your mental fortitude is there, pero your body just gave in. Kumbaga, it was one of those sequences wherein you got hit in the button.
Yeah.
Yung mga ganyan tayo eh. So it's either top of the head, back of the head, behind the ear, the chin, yan. So he hit the switch. So nakita mo talaga parang pagbagsak, nakita mo tumayo pa ng konti si Shane Burgos pero habang umaatras siya, siguro he was
Wala
trying to sit up.
He knew the formula though.
Yeah.
Oo.
Yeah.
Hence, inaral niya because he was trying to crowd him and the body shots,
Yeah.
di ba?
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Parang-
call that walking the opponent
Walking
down to the
down.
cage.
Oo.
Yeah.
Oo.
Kasi mostly si Edson, he's not so good fighting backwards, and you know how Khabib beat him. That's what he did. Tama yun si Coach Franco, yung I still remember Rory McDonald versus Robbie Lawler. Robbie just totally peppered si Rory McDonald with strikes. Tapos at some point, actually nagbabaragan sila in that fight eh. And at some point, sabi nung katawan ni Rory, "Yoko na."
Bumagsak.
Yoko na.
Naupo na lang
Tama
siya.
na, tama na.
Napaupo na lang talaga siya.
Si Rory was very promising. Did anything ever happen to him?
He's
after
now
the
with the
UFC?
PFL.
Bellator.
Yeah.
Ay, sorry,
Is he-
PFL.
is
Tama,
PFL.
coach, yeah.
Is he
PFL.
doing well?
Bellator siya for
Yeah.
a bit eh. Yeah.
He was
He's actually
parang
doing
expected to be champion at some point sa UFC but didn't
Yeah.
really make it, diba?
Oo, kasi during that time that he was there, the division was so stacked.
Yes. Actually, sadly. Oo.
Sadly,
Is here's a question. Is he autistic?
Si Rory, no. He's
No.
Canadian.
He does not smile. Eh.
Canadian.
Diba? Para siyang robot
Actually, sa
eh, diba?
interviews
Para,
niya,
He's
parang
a-
hindi nga siya nagsasmile masyado.
He's a deep
he
thinker
does not
daw.
look anybody in the eye eh.
No.
Mm.
They
Parang
called him the
borderline ano
Canadian
siya, eh, diba?
psycho when
The
he steps
Canadian
into the
psycho
cage.
siya.
Diba?
Pero ano
Parang-
yun tawag dito, yung kita mo yung mga napapansin ni Tito Raymond, di ba?
Oo,
As in,
diba?
No, but because
Details.
I have a lot of friends, including me, who are similar, diba? Parang we're borderline crazy because of that. That's why
Hindi,
that's why we're art and music, and I recognize it on him as a fighter, which is not really familiar kasi most athletes are not ganun eh, diba? You have to be you have to be reading the other person.
Yeah.
Mm.
Actually, one possible analysis kay Rory McDonald, I think, is like yung kay Fedor Emelianenko,
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
na you're so used to the violence na parang wala ka nang pakialam sa nangyayari.
It's another day at the office. They always bandy that around, di ba, guys? Pero for Rory, for Fedor.
Mhm.
Tsaka tawag dito si Rory McDonald, it's just part of his personality daw.
I think so.
Na he's just really, really that kind of a guy. And speaking of crazy,
So in the zone. Ano?
and speaking of crazy,
Speaking of
kita
crazy,
nyo, we've always told people here on the show, and me and my personal conversations with other people, na for you to be a cage fighter or for you to dabble into combat sports and to actually compete, you have to be a certain level of crazy to actually do this.
Kailangan.
Nobody
You
wants to
have to
be punched in the face naman talaga.
Oh, so you have to be. So that's a very good analogy. That's a very good analysis of
I like
reading.
how the details, yung mga napapansin ni Raymond na details. It's
Tsaka if you watch
Usually,
si Rory McDonald yung nagpauso ng naka-suit habang nagpapatali ng kamay.
actually
That was his thing.
That was his thing, man.
That was his thing. So he would go backstage, di
So
ba
it was
makikita mo?
calculated. He's not autistic. He's
No.
No, he's just like that.
he's probably just a psychopath.
Oh, he
Na-
was
Yeah,
a psychopath.
borderline.
Psychopath.
Parang yun sabi ni Carl. He was sa gym ni Farah Sahabi, he was called the Canadian psychopath.
Canadian psycho.
The TriStar, yun ang gym name.
But then
niya.
again, the TriStar gym has its own share of crazies. Like
Yeah.
GSP is fucking crazy, man.
Oh,
He believes in aliens, as in he puts ano yun, coach?
basta meron
Di ba
siyang
parang
welcome,
niya?
meron siyang welcome something sa bahay niya for aliens.
Oo,
And he
Oo.
believes he got abducted by aliens one time.
So the aliens haven't talked to you three yet.
Wala pa. Wala pa.
I wish, man.
Okay, you
I'm ready
have to wait.
fend
You
off
have to
their
wait.
boobs.
Yeah, you have to.
What
Medyo
about
ano
the
yan.
next fight? Let's talk about the next
Yeah.
fight.
Ang ganda
Yan,
na.
no.
Ano ba yung next?
And then, the next one is Caitlin Chukagian
Chukagian.
versus Vivian
Okay,
Araujo.
I have a
lang.
big question here.
Okay.
Si Chukagian likes to yung sound effects.
Mm.
Does that
Yeah.
help? Or is it a tell? Diba?
Siguro-
Kasi pag nag-faint siya, hindi
ganyan.
niya sinisigaw. Pag sumigaw siya, diba naririnig? So, the
Mostly,
opponent reads it. Can you
hindi
read it?
naman.
Because,
No. It's similar to the boxing hiss pag nagre-release ng suntok. Yung mga
what does
yan.
it do? What does it do?
Sa breathing.
Normally kasi it forces you to breathe. It's
Yeah.
it's
Sa
your
breathing.
personal reminder to breathe. And scientifically rin in terms of combat science, it's easier, it's more loose, and it's a lot stronger, it's snappier if you exhale upon
If you
release.
exhale. Yeah.
So it's either
So,
breathing or yung parang ginagawa ni Bruce Lee na medyo
basta may sound.
pang
Sound
annoy
effect
sa kalaban.
So, every time that a fighter would release a sound prior to punching, tinatime niya, sakto yung timing ng release ng suntok or ng sipa dun sa sound. Pero basically, it's you exhaling. So the sound or whatever
So
word,
did
it's...
she tap or
No,
Oo nga,
that wasn't
question yan kanina.
Yung
good
ginawang
question.
No.
medyo nag-replay sila doon. DC, Joe Rogan. Even when I saw it, so I was like, no, that wasn't a tap. It was, siya,
it wasn't a tap?
masyadong, kasi ang
From
tap,
jiu-jitsu practitioners, it wasn't a tap.
it wasn't a tap. It
No.
wasn't a tap. Kasi ang tap, a clear tap, or yung phantom taps, okay,
Iba pa yun,
makikita mo flat yung kamay. Yung kamay niya nakagilid, nakaanggulo eh. So, hindi flat eh. Medyo nakaanggulo. Tsaka, it wasn't enough to merit a tap. Even if you watch it from several angles sa instant replay, hindi pa rin eh. Hindi pa rin
Hindi
talaga.
pa rin. Oo.
It wasn't like the one with Fabricio Verdum.
Iba pa yun sa PFL.
Iba yun. Ang medyo hindi ako in tune with this card is nakakainis yung scoring. Kasi for example, this flyweight bout, 30-27, 29-28, basta unanimous decision kay Chukagian, pero Vivian Araujo was in it. She probably
lakas
won.
siya.
She probably won the second round.
Akala ko kinain niya na si Chukagian nun eh.
Kaya nagtataka ako bakit Kaya
Sa
nagtataka
third
ako.
round kasi yata nag-significant strike si
Chukagian
Chukagian.
yung third round, pero hindi siya unanimous decision.
Hindi
Grabe
dapat,
naman.
actually.
Kasali ba yung damage sa scoring?
Yep.
Kasi
Dapat,
she looked
ideally.
like
So
she had more damage visually, diba?
Yeah. Malaking factor yung damage
Okay,
talaga sa judges. And you also have to consider na these judges for MMA bouts are boxing judges. They're not
Yeah,
they
most
don't
of the
know
time.
anything
MMA
about
judges.
They don't know anything about jiu-jitsu, they don't know anything
Sa
about
grappling
grappling.
aspect.
They're boxing they're boxing
Okay.
judges.
And sa UFC kasi kada state na puntahan nila may sariling commission.
May commission.
Iba-iba din yung rules.
Isa pa
Bawat
yun.
commission. So,
That's true.
baka yun din
Sa
yung...
New York ata, di ba? Wala pa ring rewind.
Walang rewind. Tsaka parang hindi pa nga ata nila pinapayagan. parang wala pa.
Parang wala pa.
Parang tagal na wala
okay.
MMA dun.
Ay, soft lang na, sige, mag-hold tayo ng events, pero wala pa
Sayang. The next one is a bantamweight match between Matthew Schnell and Rogerio Bontorin.
Maganda.
Alam mo, nakaka-disappoint si Schnell dito. And considering Bontorin missed weight
Yeah, he missed.
If you siya yung nanginginig nung weigh-ins pag napapanood niyo.
Siya pala yun?
Siya yun. Kasi so he took
Ano,
this
pay
fight
attention.
25 days notice. And when they weighed him in, he was 40 pounds overweight. Talagang 40 pounds yung kinat niya. He was only 1 pound over the limit.
Over the limit. Pero kasi
So,
naman, ang bilis ng ano.
Ang bilis nun, 25 days, 40 pounds. So he basically didn't train for the fight. He basically trained so that he could cut the weight. Yun kasi, pagka maraming fighters ganyan, pag off-season, lumulobo.
Oo.
Kasi tumataba. So
Tama.
ngayon, ang problema, pagka when they get called for a fight, hindi imbes na mag-train to get better, they train to lose the weight.
To lose the weight lang. Yeah.
So yung mga...
You remember Raymond, like si Khabib nga fights at 155 but walks around at 200. You can see him now walking around at 200.
How do you gain the weight back in 2 days? What do you eat?
Hindi. Here's the thing when it comes to weight cutting. Okay, it's depletion, it's dehydration. Normally when fighters start camps, so let's say more or less you want to ideally you want to be in camp probably 20 pounds heavier, over 20 pounds lang. So kasi you can work out,
so you can cut you can
safely. You can safely cut 20 pounds in a couple of weeks.
So during the training, yung iba nga 30 pounds eh. So
delikado na yun, no?
For 4 to 5 weeks na fight camp. So a good fight camp is 6 to 8 weeks. So let's cramp it down. So gawin na natin 5 to 6 weeks. That's enough time for you to cut down and probably lose. So sabihin na natin you're over by 30 pounds. By fight week to yung fight week na mismo, more or less ang target mo, you're only over 8 to 10 pounds. And then you can cut that weight during the fight week and prior to weigh-ins. So prior to weigh-ins, normally they monitor. So pag 5 to 8 pounds, okay, alam na nila yan. Medyo super scientific na ang weight cutting ngayon. Marami pa rin nagbo-bro science, pero ideally, you want to be at that level.
Sadly.
So pinaka would be, syempre, you manage a lot of people will do water loading. So these are the most common weight cutting. Water loading, Epsom salt baths, sauna.
That's lose the fluids because we're half
So
fluids.
basically, yun na lang, you're just depleting water. You're just cutting down water. And then normally after you do a successful weight cut,
Why is it called water loading?
ang depende sa ano mo yan depende sa what do you call this? Depende sa nutritionist mo, pero ang pinaka basic structure is you water load 2 weeks prior to fight week.
Magtutubig ka na
Magtutubig ka lang talaga. Like ang gagawin mo,
Not eating.
hindi, you're still eating, pero
Okay.
you're gonna load like 3, for example, 3 liters a day ka. Sasanayin mo yung katawan mo na 3 liters a day ka.
Parang sa tubig ka mabubusog.
Oo, so sasanayin mo yung katawan mo, 5 days, 3 liters every day. And then the next 5 days, 2 liters na lang. And then,
flush it out.
so ang nangyayari kasi doon, since nasasanay yung katawan mo sa ganong volume ng tubig, ihi ka ng ihi. So now, by the time you switch it up to 2 liters per day,
Easy na.
'di ba? Same pa rin yung behavior ng urinating yung urination pattern ng katawan mo or urinating pattern ng katawan mo up until such a point na 1 liter a day ka na lang. More or less yun yung ginagawa ng iba. Pero yung iba kasi hindi kinakaya yung volume ng water. Hindi nila kinakaya yung so much water na nasusuka sila ng tubig. So depende sa reaction. So another method would be Epsom salt baths. So for example, ilan na kailangan nating i-lose ngayon? Okay, 5 to 8 pounds. Sige, prior to that, babad ka, Epsom salt bath ka. So mainit yung katawan mo, nilalabas niya yung sweating mo. Tapos may ice pack ka sa ulo, pag angat mo, timbang. Okay, kaya pa.
How does it feel? Have you guys tried it?
Yeah. I cut
not
weight all the
very
time.
nice.
It's awful. It's super
very nice.
Oh
awful.
my God.
Kasi sa jiu-jitsu tournaments, you weigh in and then you're on the same day as your fight.
Yeah.
Ganon. So, I competed at 155 and so that's 70 kilos and 76 kilos. So if I had to cut weight ng 70 kilos, the night before, kino-compute ko na, okay, ilan kaya ko. The biggest cut I did was 6, tama, mga 12 pounds in 8 hours. Para rin makauwi ako ng gising. Mauwi ako ng maayos.
Kasi afterwards
kasi so cut weight ka para makauwi ka kasi magko-commute ka. When you sleep kasi, well, at least for me, try nyo rin sa inyo, whoever's gonna watch and listen to this. You lose at least 2 to 3 pounds when you sleep.
I should sleep more.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Parang in my case parang hindi ganoon. I gain weight more pag
So yun. So hindi pag nag-weight cut ka. So pag natulog ka, bababa pa yun. So by the time I get to the venue, yun na. Pasok. Okay, tas how do you rehydrate? Normally a lot of people will binge food, binge sugar, binge water.
Dati, pwede pa yung intravenous, di ba?
Dati, pwede ka mag-IV. Ngayon, bawal na siya sa UFC. Bawal na siya.
Makakalaw kasi may gluten na kasama.
So ano siya? What do you call this? Mostly it's water. Water, just get rehydrated and do it. Kailangan gawin mo siya na maayos, babagal. Kasi pag binigla mo, mabibigla yung masyashock yung system mo.
Okay, let's go to Tony.
Yes.
Okay, Tony.
What did
Sige,
you think,
kayo
bro?
muna. Itong mga
Come on.
I think it was too early for him to fight again.
Really?
That's
Too
actually
early, parang
that's actually
nakita
a
na
good
nila
point.
yung style niya and then he went to Freddie Roach.
Did.
For boxing, traditionally hindi okay pag lumipat ka ng camp Parang hindi pa kumpleto yung, 'di ba? Parang
too early to fight again.
most fighters na lumilipat ng camp parang may kaguluhan pa sa parang nagpalit ka ng girlfriend 'di ba?
Yan.
That's a good analogy.
'Di ba? Parang ang aga
Wait. Have you always liked Tony's style?
I
of
love it.
crazy?
It's so punk rock. But
Oh, fuck yeah.
the thing is, pag nalaman na nila yung style mo and you didn't have the fundamentals, and he's unfortunately a little older, and it shows. It shows he's a little older. Tas alam na nila yung style na ginawa na sa kanya ni Oliveira nung a few weeks ago, a few months ago, di ba? So, what do you think about that, Coach?
I love Tony Ferguson. I like the energy that he exudes to the UFC and
And the
the style of
charisma.
fighting, the charisma, 'di ba?
Naka-shades
El
eh.
Kukuy, 'di ba? El Kukuy eh. Tsaka medyo ano siya. So medyo badass talaga siya. However, I also said this in our previous episodes na Tony Ferguson's style is very unorthodox. It's very
Very
unpredictable.
Tony. Si Tony
Diba?
lang yun.
It's his own style. Pero if you break it down to its core, it's just overwhelming you. Yun ang style ni Tony Ferguson. He knows he has extreme cardio. So I said it before pa na the moment he faces someone who is very technical, who has sound fundamentals, and is patient, he's gonna get exposed.
Exactly, the
So,
fighter.
yun yung nangyari sa kanya with Justin Gaethje. Actually, we had glimpses of that against Barbosa and against Anthony Pettis. These were high-level strikers, pero they didn't have good cardio. They didn't have the fortitude to face yung tapang ni El Cucuy. So, they got overwhelmed. Pero with Justin
you
Gaethje
think-
kasi,
You think his unpredictability is now predictable?
his unpredictability showed
diba?
people
After a
na-
few fights, alam mo na eh. Yan na yung gagawin
Yeah.
niya eh, di ba?
Actually, yun nga yung
was now
that's
predictable.
That's a very very good point that
Damn,
coincided what we said
Damn.
in this show before na his
Grabe.
unpredictability will make him predictable. Sinabi namin yan dito.
He hasn't changed. He didn't change
The same
it.
He didn't change.
He didn't
Didn't
change.
change.
Si Barbosa changed a little.
Yeah.
Nag-improve.
It's hard to
nag-improve
change.
siya.
It's hard to change.
Especially if it's working for you.
When it came to
Yeah.
Tony Ferguson kasi, he just relied on it too much because he was
Yeah.
winning. So we
Parang-
can't fault him for that. Pero yun nga, it took parang if he fought someone who was more technical, who had sound fundamentals. Ako yun talaga. I got hate from other people pa saying na no, ganyan talaga siya. Ganyan. Sabi ko hindi. He fights someone who's patient and who's very methodical in breaking him down. He's gonna fold.
Yeah.
Do you
It's
think
either-
in this main card, everybody who won was the technical person?
Yep.
The fundamental, I mean.
Yep.
The,
Benil
So-
was
This card,
that guy.
no?
So
Grabe.
Barbosa was technical, Chukagian was technical, Bontorin was technical, Beneil Dariush was technical, and here's the thing about
over the
Beneil.
wild card, over the
Oh,
wild
over the-
technique,
Yep.
unpredictable.
And everyone was saying that Tony Ferguson's grappling is so and so, it's so high level, ganyan. Ang style ni Tony Ferguson when it comes to grappling in MMA, we're talking about MMA grappling. He thrives in the scramble. Yung magulo na situation.
Chaos. Yeah.
Bigla siya may makukuhang anaconda, meron siya makukuhang Darce choke, meron siya makukuhang triangle. He thrives in the scramble. Pero how do you stop something like that? You give him a Beneil Dariush who's very methodical.
Grabe.
Who's very
Yes, just a pressure passer. di ba?
pressure passing, yung he was patient, 'di ba? Everyone thought na he got him in a guillotine, pero hindi. Dariush was smiling, 'di ba? He got him in a Darce.
Is there
Dariush
such a
was
thing as
looking
a
at the cage, parang
counter jiu-jitsuer? Di ba? Parang puro inaabangan siya eh. It's so textbook, di ba? I don't know
Yeah.
anything, pero
Yes.
all the weight was always down.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
That's
he was
textbook
always
jiu-jitsu.
patient, waiting for which direction to move according to the. I'm only listening to the announcers, di ba? If he moves this, he'll do this, and it's like, wow, he's countering every move.
Yep.
Yeah.
For high level jiu-jitsu guys, fighting someone like Tony Ferguson is a walk in the park. Kasi
Oo.
I mean, I'm sorry who gets offended, pero yun nga yun eh. Beneil Dariush is a decorated jiu-jitsu guy both in the gi and in no
Grabe.
gi.
Yeah.
Am I offending a lot of people? I'm sorry. I don't know. Sorry.
It's okay, we'll defend
kasi
you.
yung
There are
mga
three of
Tony
us.
Ferguson fans kasi dyan, laging
Grabe.
hindi, ang galing niya mag-grappling, hindi, ang galing
I'm
mag-grappling.
just drunk. I'm sorry. I'm just drunk.
it's the alcohol talking.
Pero
I
ano, sinasabi
love
ko,
Tony. I love Tony.
yeah, he's very exciting. Ako, so like, parang ano to sabi ko, he's very entertaining. He's very entertaining.
Yes.
Pero,
Especially sa tweets niya, di ba? Champ should
Ano,
only. Yun lang.
talagang sayang.
Wait,
Sayang
I have a
talaga.
random question.
Mm.
Sorry, puro ganun ako eh.
Go lang.
That time, he was supposed to fight Khabib. And then
Yeah.
he had a
Wala.
freak accident. What is
At
your
the very least-
professional take on that? Because I don't know. He had a freak
Our
accident.
professional take, bro, is
Okay.
you should not be wearing sunglasses indoors.
Yes.
And then what
That's just it.
happened? I
He
never
tripped
know.
on. He was in a TV
TV
studio.
station,
He
diba?
tripped
Oh.
on
Tripped on a wire.
the wires.
And then
Napilay
hit his
siya.
head.
Pilay siya.
Tawag dito, pumutok yung ACL niya. ACL ba niya o yung MCL niya?
injury.
MCL ata bro kasi papa forward.
MCL,
diba?
oh.
Oh.
Because
Super
he was I saw him kicking, 'di ba, para mga poste, para wow. Tapos
Yes.
trip on a wire, so talaga nangyari.
He didn't see it. Ganun lang kadali. bro.
Ano siya,
Tapos,
they were doing media work. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
he trip and fell. Tapos sabi
Okay,
niya,
miss.
parang iba yung alignment ng tuhod ko ah. Then they found
That's the
out.
first mystery.
Yeah.
Second mystery,
mm.
nung na ano siya, ano nangyari doon?
Ano to?
Ano
Oh,
na yung
wait.
para siyang mabagal yung wifi. Remember that
Ah,
other fight?
ano nga
where
Feeling ko hanggang
Oh.
ngayon, ganun pa rin
may
siya.
Parang-
interview
oh,
na
eh.
parang mabagal na siya. Iba na yung yung sinasabi niya.
Feeling ko baka high lang siya nun.
Hi.
Either high siya.
Bata
it's
ni
a
Eddie Bravo
template
kasi
thing.
yun eh.
Oo. Yung head coach kasi niya sa jiu-jitsu, si Eddie Bravo, is one of those guys na habang
He's a cool
nagtitrain,
guy though.
they
Diba?
smoke. They
Smoke
smoke weed.
They smoke a
okay,
lot,
okay,
man.
okay.
Yeah.
Probably related doon.
I nakasalubong ko sa hotel one of the Diaz brothers. I don't know which
Oh,
one.
really?
Speaking of dope.
Did you try to say hello to them?
I wanted to. I was so starstruck. I always get starstruck with people I admire. So parang
Okay.
and I didn't know which name to call, 'di ba? Parang
Nate or Nick, no? Nate or Nick. Di ba?
Nate
Di
or
ba?
kasi naka may buhok pareho, may buhok,
Oo.
naka-t-shirt, naka-maong. So hindi mo mahirap malaman
Mahirap
eh.
But it was definitely a
Si-
deal.
si Nick yung mas
It was a
matangkad.
Diaz. It was
Si Nick yung mas
Oh, si
matangkad.
Nick,
it was in Vegas. It was it was fight week.
And those guys are always baked.
It was
Yeah.
and he was baked. He seemed baked. I didn't want. Tsaka alam mo pag dumaan lahat ng tao eh, 'di ba? Parang
Nakatingin eh, di ba? Biglang,
malaking tao sila eh. I mean,
ano sila, ano ba pangalan ng grupo nila? The Scrap Pack.
Scrap pack.
Yeah, they're called the Scrap Pack. They've been
209.
Team 209. Mga ano sila? Sila yung pag sinabi lang Rumble.
Rumble talaga.
Kaya yung mga Paul brothers, they never
They never pranked the
Not
They
all
never
out.
tried to prank them.
It's not a good idea.
Oh, not a good idea talaga. They'll prank Conor McGregor pero they're not gonna prank the Diaz brothers.
Yeah.
Wait, so Rames, you were disappointed that Tony lost.
No, it was kind of expected. Like, di ba? Parang,
Okay.
I wanted him to win because he's lovable and di ba?
Yeah.
And funny and charming and highly charismatic. But first round pa lang, wala kang binago eh.
Oo.
Nag-practice
I
ko ng
parang-
boxing, grappler
Oo.
yung kalaban eh, 'di ba? Parang
Actually,
I
ano
kind
yun
of liken him to, naglalaro kayo ng, if you remember video games, si Street Fighter, meron silang character na Dalsim.
Yeah.
Oo.
Si Dalsim.
Oo.
sobra ko ng tanda ang video game ko na martial arts, Punch Out.
Punch Out! Classic!
Mike Tyson yun.
Classic!
Atari.
Punch Out! Si Mike Tyson yun, di
Ang
ba?
pangalan
Mike Tyson
ng
ba?
punch out yun
ang
eh.
pangalan ng anak ko si Atari.
Yes!
And she's
Galing.
21 years old. Oh my God. She's
Wow.
like, so ako yung
Oh, man.
pinaka-tito dito. So,
Yes.
okay,
tito
let's
and
go
tito.
Legit.
to the main event.
Oh my
Hindi,
God.
pero
Very
ano,
exciting.
Pero
Exciting,
ano,
man.
I'm just gonna take a step back. Yung
Ay, sorry,
point ni Tito Raymond kanina, yung changing of camp, malaking bagay yun
Yeah.
Super laking bagay nun. A lot of people say, no, it's just change fit. No. It's a huge thing. Kasi you have to adjust. Panibagong adjustment sa tao, panibagong adjustment sa environment.
Mhm.
So, and it's good that Tony Ferguson is he probably learned a lot of things from the Justin Gaethje loss. Pero again, those 2 points na sinabi ni Tito
Hindi
Raymond kanina, I
madali.
totally agree with them. It was too soon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And changing camps and changing your training regimen, it will take time to sink in. It will take time for your body to accept yung
Yeah,
bagong
and,
knowledge.
Who do you remember who changed camps na
Naganon?
nanalo ng ganong kabilis?
Oh.
Oh.
That's a good
I
Kamaru
question.
can't remember
Usman.
any.
Oh, Camaro really did.
Pero
Yeah.
how long? How long
Hindi,
did
pero
he change
matagal
camps?
eh.
Matagal na yun.
Sa bagay,
matagal na.
months eh. Ilang
Pero
months,
months
halos
din
1
eh.
year na
yeah,
din
yeah,
eh.
almost a year. Kita mo Kamaru Usman switched camps pero it took him a year before he accepted the fight. So yeah.
Later on, we should talk about Sanford MMA and their problems, but not today.
But yeah, padagdag ko lang doon sa Tony Ferguson thing. He's parang ang nangyari sa kanya, tama kayo, he got used to his style na gumagana for a very long time. Tapos sobrang confident niya pa. So he didn't think he needed to change that. Tapos there was something wrong. There was something obviously wrong with his headspace na hanggang ngayon hindi niya pa rin talaga naaayos. So whatever happens, kung yung losing streak niya, magtutuloy-tuloy yan until he gets to fix that. Siguro, I guess ngayon, since it's changing camps,
True.
mga 6 months muna or more bago siya lumaban ulit eh.
The same way that Dariush popped Tony Ferguson's knee with that heel hook.
Oh my God.
Nagpop
Yeah.
yun talaga
So,
kanina.
nagpop
There's
yun.
no doubt.
Oh,
Na-
Pop yun, sigurado. The way
Umaray si Tony.
the structure of the heel hook and the way he was cranking it. Ang bait pa nga ni Dariush eh. Nung nakita niyang
Oo, sabi niya,
Umaray
uy,
na,
na,
binitawan niya.
pumutok na.
pumutok na, di niya binitawan. If that was Rusimar Palhares, he would probably do a gator roll.
One of our favorite.
Masamang tao talaga yan, si Palhares.
Si Paul Harris.
As in, he would probably do a gator roll and break that entire knee. Pero yun nga, so that knee pop definitely. MCL, LCL goodbye yan.
Kasi after nung round na nag-pop yung knee, di ba, medyo hindi na makalakad ng maayos si Tony.
Hindi na. Like the next round, wala na. He was
Wala
gone.
na.
I don't think we are giving Benil Den enough credit. No,
Oo,
he's a great guy, man.
Ako, I picked
Grabe,
Denil.
Dark Horse.
Ako, I picked Dariush to
You picked
win
Dariush.
that. Sabi ko
nice.
kasi,
Ako rin,
eto naman, Justin Gaethje exposed the striking of Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
Sabi ko, Dariush is going to expose his jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Yun ang mangyayari.
Grabe,
The same way na, pero hindi, si main event, Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. This was
Ibang klase yan.
this was a
man.
fight that could have gone either way. Okay?
Yes.
So for
Kutob mo
everyone,
may rematch?
feeling
good question.
ko muna they're gonna make Poirier and Conor fight, and then whoever wins that fight is going to fight.
Wait. Okay. Ito maganda. Why didn't Poirier fight? Is it because of Conor? He wanted more money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
they were
So it was
he
money
won.
over the belt. Ganun ba yun?
it was tawag dito. So Poirier won over Conor.
Yeah.
Si Conor wanted the rematch immediately,
And they gave it to him naman.
and they gave it to him.
Didn't they offer the vacant to Poirier?
No.
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 Oh, he said no because he wanted more money.
Hindi.
Kasi-
Ginawa
they
siyang
didn't give it to him na.
ginawa siyang four-man thing ni UFC. Na Chandler will fight Oliveira, and then Conor will fight Poirier. Whoever wins.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna be whoever wins kay Conor, Poirier
Poirier.
is gonna
Yeah.
fight with Oliveira.
Oliveira.
Yeah.
Yes.
Parehong maganda.
Pareho maganda.
Imagine the trash talking.
Diba? Just
Hindi
imagine.
naman trash talker si Oliveira eh. Hindi siya magaling sa trash talk.
hindi.
Eto, meron akong tanong kay Tito Raymond. Tito Raymond, ano mas gusto mo? Yung Mystic Mac o yung Conor McGregor
Conor
ngayon?
McGregor ngayon. Yung
Ano yung
mabait.
difference?
Si Mystic Mac
Ayoko
yung nagtatrash
mabait.
talk, yung walang ya, yung mayabang, yung may quotable
Maganda
quotes.
yung bastos, di ba?
O, diba?
I love it kasi if he loses, nakaganon lang siya eh. Parang I just had a bad night. Di ba?
Ayan.
No, he didn't. Wala naman siya excuse. He didn't.
Yeah.
He never gave any excuse. Kahit nung kay Khabib, sabi niya, ayaw pumayag ni Khabib na personal si Khabib. Hindi siya personal eh. Feeling ko in the Chelsonen school of
Universe.
pro wrestling eh, 'di ba? It's all promotion. It works. He's the highest paid athlete in the world, arguably,
on
'di ba?
Forbes, yeah, definitely.
So ano tayo? So you are kasi
Pero-
ako meron akong campaign eh, bring back Mystic Mac eh.
Kunyari, nangyari na yung Poirier versus McGregor, natalo si
Let's say, theoretically.
Let's say, matalo si McGregor. What do you think of a Tony Ferguson versus Conor McGregor fight?
That's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be fun.
Oh
We're
my
gonna watch
God.
that.
Yan ang
We're gonna watch
talking.
that.
Because anything McGregor, anything Tony is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not because it's technical or
Yeah.
it's, diba?
It's
we'll
probably
find
one of
something
those
new,
fights na papanoorin ko lahat ng media tour.
but it's
Diba?
gonna be hyped so
It's gonna
much.
be wild.
Diba?
Wild,
Iba yung,
man.
iba yung,
Lahat ng
that's why people watch the YouTube fights because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
because of
It's
the charisma
entertaining.
of the people involved, not because of their skill or diba,
No.
technical ability, but
habang promotions pa lang may scoring na yan.
pero speaking about the entertainment factor, ikaw, Tito Raymond, as a casual fan, do you gravitate towards the character or do you gravitate towards the skill?
Either. Kasi hindi ko naman makikita until the fight eh.
Pero ang hirap din
You-
kasi ang tagal mo nang
pero
nanonood
lalabas sa feed mo because everybody's talking about
Talking
it.
about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Diba? I wouldn't know. Diba wala namang si who was that winner a few weeks ago yung ganung buhok.
Si Jiri Prohaska.
Si Jiri.
Wala
Oh,
siyang
I like
hype.
that. Yeah.
Wala.
Pero grabe yung skill.
Oo.
Now I had to like, ano ba
Ayun, may
nilabanan
hype
nito na nag-usap kami ni Carl?
Yeah.
Ito
Binigay ko sa kanya Jiri Prohaska
Oh my
versus
God, ganun siya kagaling.
Badir.
No hype. No.
No hype, no
hype.
no
He
social media
should be
coverage.
hyped, di ba? Mukha siyang Van villain
Diba?
eh.
So, pareho lang.
Puro.
Diba? Parang, I enjoy it both because I'm not, diba? Parang, not one over the other. Diba?
And that's exactly what Nick Diaz brings to the table eh. Diba? They have the skill set and then they have the swagger.
The
And
swag.
then
You cannot manufacture swag eh.
Oo.
In any
Pag pinilit mo halata eh.
diba?
Oo,
So
The Diaz
Grabe,
brothers are also psychopaths, by the way. So
Yeah.
you can
super
manufacture that
psychopath
either.
sila. Super. Aminado naman din sila eh. Aminado. Pero grabe yun ah. Like that predicament na so we'll go the Bronx versus Poirier and
Poirier.
then title eliminator mo after that would be a Tony Ferguson versus Conor McGregor. Okay yun ah.
That's great.
Nakita na yan ni
That's
Dana
more
White,
money.
ano, na pera, kaching, alam
Oh,
niya na.
kaching yan.
Especially
Kaching.
now Hollywood runs UFC, di ba? Wala na yung
Yeah.
Safa.
Pero ikaw, I have another question for Raymond. Like, how do you see these fighters who started fighting for, like, they look hungry, they wanted to be successful, they wanted to gain fame, they want financial stability, and then you see them now na people who, diba, they're richer than how they used to be. Like, for example, let's take Conor McGregor. Diba? He's the richest MMA fighter right now. He's the richest athlete in combat sports.
Yeah.
So how do you see him? Do you still see him as the guy you saw several years ago? Do you think na he's still hungry? Do you think na the competitive edge is still
Or do you
there?
think he lost that?
Or he probably lost that because of the comforts that he's already
Maganda yung tanong.
Mm.
Maganda yung tanong. I think if you're not hungry, you will not fight.
At all.
He does not need to fight. Like Manny, si Manny natin. He does not need to fight.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think they're just hungry. They don't have to be in their prime. They might not train as hard because madami nang nangyayari.
Ayun, yung
na-
pa, yung mga obligations, the business,
Iba yun,
diba? The
iba yun.
distractions.
But I think the hunger is within, 'di ba? Parang I'm 50, I want to go up on stage tomorrow night. Eh.
Mm.
Diba? Parang, and I see kids, I've met people who are more talented and more gifted. Wala yung gutom eh.
Oo, iba yun eh.
Parang, I've been to a camp ito in my line of work. I've been to a camp with Ryan Cayabyab, choosing 40 of the best Filipino songwriters na in this age, mga bata in their 20s. Lahat magaling. Every night they jam until 5 in the morning. Top level lahat. And the people who will be successful from that camp 2 years later, yung gutom. So
My
it's not
question
the
is,
talent.
how can you tell the hunger pala?
Yo,
Is it
magandang
something
tanong
in
yan.
their
Tatanong
eyes?
ko rin yan eh. How do you
Just-
determine that?
Just like the sport, kita mo, they won't quit. It's like, parang si Tony, talo na eh. Di siya makapaniwala eh. Si Conor, talo na. Lalaban ulit eh. They're getting older.
Yeah.
I'm old. Parang I should quit. I don't want to quit. Parang
That's true.
it's the only thing I want to do. Parang yun lang yun. Parang I can see you guys. You guys hungry. Parang wala, ang tawag namin, walang pagkain sa bahay eh.
Kaya hanap ka ng hanap ka ng
Oo.
makain. Okay.
Gutom to lagi, 'di ba? Para meron din naman sobrang gutom na patay gutom na, 'di ba? Para lahat papatulan. May ganun din, may in any
I
Ako
think
ito,
I saw
sige,
that
go.
in Cowboy last week. Parang ganun. Ayaw niya mag-quit, di ba?
'Di ba?
Tanda na eh.
Lahat ng
gulpi
matanda
na eh.
ayaw nakita si Conor kutob mo or si Manny kailangan pa lumaban to prove something.
Di
Is
na.
it ego? It's not ego.
Ako,
Hindi na eh.
Pero it's so refreshing and it's so good to hear this kind of answer kasi
Yeah.
medyo yun din yung sentiment namin. Ako naman, there's a part of me, sabi ko this is probably a personal answer pero para sa akin kasi with all the craziness that's happening in their lives, fighting gives them a semblance of normalcy.
I agree.
Madali
Yeah,
kasi,
yeah,
di ba?
brother.
You're told what to do, you know what you're going to do, and
Na
then
parang-
you just fight.
And it's probably the only thing they know how to do.
Yeah.
To do. The
Yeah.
only thing.
Yeah.
Like in Conor's case, hindi naman na siya nag-aral.
Hindi
nung
na siya
pumasok
gumaling
sa
eh.
MMA.
Hindi na.
Yung last fight na, hindi na siya gumaling.
He was doing the
Yeah.
same Conor shit, di ba?
Yeah.
Pero yun nga.
Yumaman pa siya.
Oh.
That's true.
Pero hindi na
Yeah.
siya gumaling. Or even, sadly, si Armani, hindi na siya gumaling. You're not getting any younger. You're not getting any better because marami ng distractions eh.
And there's so much on his plate already. Pero kita
Yeah,
mo,
diba?
parang pag
But
may
the hunger,
go-
I do not, yung hunger, wala, meron yun, nandun yun forever feeling ko.
As long as they're still doing
so
it.
ano siya eh, kumbaga, is it still hunger or competitiveness na lang talaga? Or did it transcend into something like, no, the competitive nature in
I
me?
think you don't have to be competitive to be hungry eh.
Mhm.
Diba? If
Or
you're a warrior,
ego.
you're a warrior eh, diba? Ego is part of it, but diba? I think, this is my last question.
Sure.
If I was a Filipino young person, teenager, I want to get into mixed martial arts. How do I begin?
Nako! Marami
Wow.
nagtatanong sa amin yan.
Plenty of avenues.
It's a common
Yeah.
question, pero
That's,
you pick one sport first. One martial art first.
Ay,
Start
hindi,
with
ano
it.
ba to?
What
Ano ba
do I
to?
choose? Ano yung choices?
MMA ba to? MMA ba? O
Yes,
combat
yes,
sports lang?
MMA. That's the
O,
most
sige,
popular
sige.
right
JC
now.
muna,
Muna.
then Carl. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, sa akin, you'd start with where Filipinos are known best for, boxing. You do the boxing. If you feel that you're comfortable with the basics na ng boxing, you move to kickboxing or Muay Thai. Tapos, syempre, pag sanay ka na doon, then you go jiu-jitsu. And then wrestling. And then you do MMA. Yung iba kasi, tumatalo na lang diretso eh. I mean, kasi there are gyms who offer MMA classes. Pero,
Oo.
I mean, you'll be overwhelmed with that kind of training,
Yeah.
lalo na wala kang background eh.
People want to train UFC. May mga ganong tanong
May mga
minsan
train
eh.
UFC.
Where can I train UFC?
Yeah.
Wala pong ganon. Pero tama si JC, you pick one muna before you mix
What
your
would you
martial
choose?
arts.
Carl, what would you choose first?
I specifically chose jiu-jitsu because it was marketed to me first, no, because
No,
I
I
was
mean
an analyst.
for a young person, kunwari.
For a young
starting
person.
At 2021, a teenager, kunwari, or a young
For me, it really
younger.
depends on what was the aspect that fascinated them. Like, uy,
Pwede
gusto
rin
kong
yan.
manapa, gusto kong manipa, unahin mo yung striking. And then when kasi ako, I was an analyst, so I needed to be the cerebral person, and the striking seemed kind of like, oh, it's a jab, it's a punch, whatever. Pero I didn't know what was happening on the ground, so I needed to study the ground. Yung marketing kasi ng jiu-jitsu, gentle art, and for cerebral people, because I was a nerd, and okay, let's study the complex art of grappling na supposedly gentle, which of course I remind everybody it's not damn gentle. Okay? Pwede ba wag na natin i-market na gentle?
Hindi, yun kasi yung direct translation ng
Yung direct
jiu-jitsu.
translation, di ba?
Oo.
Pero pagdating mo, they told me it would be a gentle art. Tapos pagkatapos, ganun-ganun yung daliri mo sa gi. Anyway, I really like that aspect of grappling kasi nga, it was not violent. Parang it was not violent in the way na it was portrayed to me in the movies, in sports. Walang sapakan eh, walang impact, ganun. So if you're a kind of an intellectual young person, start with the grappling, start with the jiu-jitsu. If you're a bit more aggressive, cerebral young person, go with catch wrestling or luta libre, or gusto mo yung sexy kasi yung striking. Di ba? Yung impact, yung everybody wants to do pads exactly because it's sexy. So usually babae ang may gustong mag-striking. I don't know why. Maybe it's the slapping that is their
Kaya pala
first
ang dami kong kasabay na babae dati. Ha?
Diba? Diba sa gym? Parang ang dami nag-muay thai
oo.
That gives them the sense of kasi empower. It's
Ah,
empowering.
yes.
It's
Sort
the
of
sound is
empowerment,
empowering.
oo.
So striking first. if you have a lot of violence, you feel a lot of in you, like gusto kong manapak ng tao,
Release the
gusto kong
teen angst. Parang ganun.
yeah, striking muna. And then afterwards, because it's very hard, the technicalities of it and the intricacies, especially if you're going to be trained inside a cage, then you can mix the martial arts. Do not train UFC. If anybody tells you that you're going to train in UFC, please run away very fast.
Run away.
And if they spell train, TRANE, run away
Run away.
right that moment.
Diba?
Coach, ikaw.
Ako, I'll echo the same things with my fellow titos of fighting here. As a coach, I've never advocated training MMA. For me, MMA is not a curriculum. It should never be taught. Kasi MMA it's a very broad topic. So if you train MMA, half of it is grappling, half of it is striking, then you're gonna be a half-baked fighter. Ganun ang kalalabasan niya. We've been emphasizing about fundamentals, so you have to learn the fundamentals. First thing, when I get asked this question, marami nagtatanong yan. Like ko sinasabi, ano bang motivation mo for training MMA? Do you just want it for fitness? Do you want to be an actual fighter? Ano ba to? Do they want to be an actual fighter?
Yes, you want to be a fighter.
Okay, you want to be a
Inspired
fighter.
by
Yeah,
the fighters.
by their heroes, diba? Then the first, like, this is like the mini test. I always tell them, you have to train striking, you have to be good at it for a year. You have to train grappling, you have to be good at it for 2 years. So that's 3 years of your life. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to invest that time? Tapos, in between those training camps or in between those developmental years, we'll probably do some amateur fights. A lot of people kasi say na they want to be professional fighters but they don't want the training. They don't want the learning. They think na they'll learn a couple of months, then they can go to a professional fight, and then feeling nila yun na yun, magsisimula na doon. Hindi nila alam yung process. They don't know the trajectory. Na you have to be proficient in striking. You have to be proficient in grappling. Now, when before you become a professional fighter, you have to go through the amateur ranks. Kasi you have to. A lot of people will say they know how to fight until the day that they get kicked in the face, or they get punched in the face. I've refereed so many MMA bouts na ang tapang-tapang ng muka, akala mo mananalo, nung nasapak ng isang beses, umiyak, tumakbo sa corner. Alam mo yung nasuntok tas nagulat sila na yung pala yung
I remember one guy.
Sounds family na.
Diba? Then they probably did a lot of rounds in the mitts, in the gym. They probably sparred, yung mga laro-laro lang na sparring. And then they got kicked in the leg. They got kicked in the ribs. They realized na parang, oh my God, yung pala yung feeling ng nasipa talaga. Yung pala yung feeling na sinuntok ako
Shit
sa
got
mukha.
real.
Shit got real. I've seen so many eyes change when that thing happened. So if you want to be a professional fighter, you can jump right in and embarrass yourself, or we can do it the right way. Normally that's so. If you want to be a professional fighter, let's put in three years of actual work. Then let's see what happens.
By the way, I watched a couple of your episodes. And
Thank you.
The move of the night, you called it the calf kicks.
The calf kicks. This is the year of the calf kicks.
Yes.
Year of the calf kicks. I was like, what are calf kicks? And then I saw parang you fight. Everybody's doing it.
Everybody's doing it.
Everybody.
Poirier
yung
did it to
isa?
Conor.
Yeah. It's like the calf kicks.
Explain what are the calf kicks and how are they effective then?
Calf kicks naman kasi, they've been in the kickboxing circuit and in the Muay Thai circuit for the longest time.
Sino ang nagpauso? That's all I want to know.
A lot of
Tagal
people
na.
give credit to Benson Henderson for starting the trend in the
Starting
UFC.
the trend in
Pero
MMA.
in the kickboxing and the Muay Thai scene, that's normal.
Tagal
Normal
na.
siya. You watch Muay Thai fights,
Yeah.
they're very
Decades,
normal.
decades.
Oh, decades na siya. Sa UFC, ang pinaka yun nga, they give credit to Benson Henderson because pero yun nga Benson Henderson did it in a very slappy motion, yung sinasampal lang niya yung calf mo. And then it progressed when Stipe Miocic and sino pa ba, the really good kickers, really
Justin.
good kickboxer, Justin
Justin
Gaethje.
Gaethje.
They started using their shins. They started using their shins on
Which
your
is,
calf. Which is
very Muay Thai.
Yung
sobrang
dumugo
sakit.
kanina, was
That's
Hassle ba
counter
yun?
ata. Na nasalag lang ng tama.
Yung
Kay
si
Barbosa.
Barbosa.
Na-check lang ata ng ni...
Hindi. Ano yun? Yung dumugo yung sa
Oo,
nag-check lang yun.
diba?
Kasi
Na-check lang
normally
yun, diba?
when you kick each other, kung hindi ka sanay ng sipaan, mabilis masugatan yung legs mo. Yung balat ng legs mo. Year of
So
the Kicks?
it wasn't a big problem.
No, it's not.
For the kicker.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not a problem for the kicker.
Until you're Chris Weidman.
Yeah. That's the problem.
I didn't want to see that. I don't want to. Let's not go
Watch the
there.
replay.
Pero
That's the problem.
Chris Weidman's walking again now after 3 weeks.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Ang bilis.
Iba talaga yung advancement.
Stem cell yata.
Stem cell.
Stem cell yan eh. Meron
Saka
sila
siya,
Grabe.
believe it or not, ang tumama is yung gitna. So,
Oo.
so ang gitna, pero ang nabali yung ibaba.
Yung ibaba.
Yun So yun yung explanation doon. So the middle of his shin hit the middle part of Uriah Hall's knee, pero ang nabali yung lower part. Yun ang nababali. I think they posted the photos as well. Normally ang ginagawa lang naman doon, i-realign yung buto mo. Small bones lang yun eh. Tapos lalagyan nila ng screw para dumiretso siya.
Medyo brutal yung itsura nung...
Medyo brutal yung itsura.
In-explain ni Chris Weidman sa Instagram live niya.
Talaga?
May pinasok sa tubo sa gitna ng...
That's going to hurt when it's cold,
Yeah, tapos
man.
naka-screw yun, top to bottom.
So it's
winter
gonna...
sa kanila, man.
Mukhang
he
ang
can
bilis
walk.
ng recovery niya talaga.
Hindi,
Nakagulat.
fighters are
3
built
weeks.
differently.
Pero 3 weeks, you're walking
Oh,
again.
You can walk. The main question would be, how is he going to wrestle with that?
Wala
nga eh.
Yung wrestling kasi yung motion ng paa mo kailangan ganun eh. Saka how confident are you to kick again?
A day after
well,
the fight,
Anderson was
nag-live
never the
siya
same.
na nagsabi siya na he still wants to fight after he recovers. My
Yeah.
goodness.
Wala lang yung spam sa... Kailangan niya lang ng pagkain. Hindi ka na dapat lumalaban after that. Pero diba, si
Oo.
Anderson Silva.
Nag-retire na si Anderson.
Pero
couple of days ago.
I don't think you can be in the UFC if you're not hungry.
yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're Khabib kasi ayaw lang siya payagan ng tatay niya. So, diba, pinilit
Tsaka
lang siya.
nag-promise nag-promise siya sa nanay niya.
Promise
Nag-promise siya
sa
sa nanay niya na
niya.
last na to. Tsaka, a lot of people asked me as well pero ito naman question na to sa TikTok ko naman to lumano.
So habang sumasayaw,
Coach, Khabib ba or the Bronx? Khabib ba or the Bronx? Ako, I just don't see anybody beating Khabib right now. I just don't see it. I mean,
hindi pa pinapanganak.
Hindi pa
pa.
talaga.
Hindi pa.
I would have wanted a Khabib versus GSP, pero it's not
Oh
gonna
my God.
happen.
That I will
Aling
pay for.
age, I don't think parehong age. Hindi.
Yun
hindi
din.
hindi na talaga. Wala.
Plus, man,
sobrang solid
those-
sobrang solid nung timing talaga ng career ni Khabib.
galing, no?
Parang sinabi na si Jordan tsaka si LeBron nagsabay eh. Hindi eh.
Hindi talaga.
di ba?
Hindi
Hindi
same
talaga
age
eh.
Hindi. Dapat same age. Same year, same age, same...
Grabe.
Anyway, thank you
Thank
guys
you.
for having
Thank
me.
you, Tito Raymond.
that was
Thank you so much.
I learned so much. I
And
enjoyed
we
it.
appreciate the
it.
fact that
Oh.
you've been watching combat sports for the longest time.
I hope I
Nakakatuwa.
did not offend too many people. I have a very
Let him-
punchable face.
Let him riot.
Hayaan mo sila magreklamo
Also,
kasi
just call JC. He's your neighbor. So, if anybody needs beating up,
wala. The Titos of Fighting got you.
I live in Makati.
thank you so much, Ray.
Thank you so much.
Is there anything na bagong
Yeah.
release that you would
You want
like to tell?
to just anything you want
No,
to plug?
I wanna promote this channel. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you, Tito Raymond.
you.
Where can people
are
find
tired
you?
of me promoting myself. I wanna promote this channel because fighting is also good. It's a release, especially. I always say this. This is my parting words. We have lost control of things since the pandemic.
Yeah.
We don't have we don't have control over our jobs, over the government, over the virus. But if you find something, in this case fighting, it's something that you can be good at and you can control. It may save your life.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Just like music and art, fighting can save your life. Diba? So cheers to you guys for for doing this
Cheers,
podcast and for having me.
Oh man, you always
so
have
much.
you always have a seat
Glass to
there.
you.
Okay.
For us lang kasi we have a separate podcast, the combat sports podcast pa aside from this, yung Destroy Manila podcast.
Yeah.
Na we're coming out with our third season. This
We'll be
Friday
back.
nalalabas yung bagong episode. It's about, kasi sa Philippines there are only 3 professional MMA referees, unfortunately. And
One of them is very familiar.
One of them is very familiar. Si Coach Franco yung isa sa kanila. And we did the feature for the 3 of them, and we're gonna release the episodes
Very
from
soon,
this month, very soon. First episode will come out on Friday. We interviewed referee Joey Lipitan, also BJJ black belt. Na he's gonna share a lot of stories, very interesting stories. Hopefully abangan nyo. And of course, itong Combat Sports Weekly, thank you for those who've always been watching our shows, and hopefully you continue to support the show.
I-add ko lang na yung aming referee series, we tried to figure out kung sino yung Herb Dean, kung sino si Mario Yamasaki, kung sino si Big John McCarthy sa ating tatlong stalwart MMA referees. Please watch out for that. I
Who
just
is
really
the
want to
greatest Filipino referee?
Wala pa, hindi pa namin alam kasi
Hindi
tatlo
pa
pa lang
nila.
kami.
We're trying to
Come on,
grow that
no.
more.
Think years. Think other sports.
Hindi ba si yung boxing referee?
You're close,
yung
come
may
on.
bigote.
Shasha.
That
Shasha.
Sino
Si
yun?
Di ba Trinidad? Is that a Trinidad guy?
Si Padilla. I forgot
Padilla,
his name.
tatay ni Shasha.
Padilla.
Yung tatay na Shasha.
There you go. World
Yung-
class yun.
Yung nasa commercial ng alcohol
Commercial,
natin.
Ng
alcohol.
Rhea rubbing alcohol.
There
Di
you
ba?
go.
Yun.
Yan ang Tito
Naging
question
sobrang
of the
tita na.
night.
Oh my God.
Grabe.
The
yun
referee
yung-
goat.
Oo.
Filipino referee goat.
Filipino
Yan ang Big
referee
John
goat.
McCarthy.
Have to.
Padilla. Si Ref Padilla. Tatay ni Shasha Padilla.
Tatay ni Shasha.
Oh,
Kaya
my
pala sabi mo
God.
Shasha.
Alam yun.
Mm.
Ang galing.
Man.
That's the Tito trivia.
of the night.
Kailangan malaman natin kung sino yung na yun. Tatag ko
Ano
kung
yung
sino
pangalan mo?
yun.
Mamaya,
Si
Google
Carlos Padilla Jr.
Carlos Padilla
Oh.
Jr.
Si di lang
Goat.
pang pamilya, pang
Pang
sports
sports
pa.
pa. Ang galing.
You gotta sing it.
Yan ang goat.
Sing it.
Di ba? Hindi lang
Sing the
pang-
jingle.
Di ba? Pang sports pa.
Yeah, see, everybody knows.
Everybody knows that.
Diba?
Yeah. Damn.
Lahat ng commercial ng boxing fights,
Kanya.
nandun yun. Lagi.
Sino ang mga kinol niyang fights? Legendary yun.
Grabe. Oo.
Ang dami nun. Anyway,
Grabe.
cheers.
Yeah.
Guys,
Cheers, guys.
thank you so much.
Thank you
Okay.
Good
again.
night.
Yeah.
I shall leave you guys to your devices.
Thank you, James. Appreciate it, man.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was Tito
Ay,
Raymund
alright.
Marasigan. Thank you so much for having us on your... Parang baliktad din, no? Parang naging baliktad eh.
Very
Okay,
good
so,
interviewer. Huh?
Yeah.
diba? He's an amazing individual and we
Also
hope
has
to
his
have
own
him again.
podcast, I think. No?
Oh,
Yeah.
he has his own podcast.
Offstage hang. Ang podcast
Okay.
niya.
And then he has his YouTube channel. He has his biking vlog. So please follow him on social media as well. Follow Destroy MNL. They're going to release new episodes. We're very, very thankful na we got to be interviewed and we are the holy trinity of Philippine MMA refereeing. Yeah.
Because there's nobody else, Brad.
Yeah.
Diba? I'd also like to give a huge shout out to our friends in La Union. Okay?
Ooh.
The people of Proper Gym, Mackay Bowls, and 55 Tinta. Okay? My brother JR, Professor Joel Yapiancha is there. The Jiu-Jitsu and MMA community is growing there in La Union. Shout out to all. Our love and support to everyone there. We'll do our best to visit you guys and train with you soon. Also, my shirt for today is from Yakap ng Magulang.
Yakap ng
Magulang. Yan. Yakap ng Magulang is an advocacy group by Relisa Lucena. So they are a group of parents who want to advocate their children. No communist group should ever recruit children and underage individuals who just want to go to school. Okay? So, yung mga nagre-recruit sa NPA sa mga schools, yan, that's their advocacy. So again, Ate Relisa Lucena, Yakap ng Magulang, find them on Facebook and join their advocacy. So, That's it. That was a really good episode. That
Yeah.
was so much fun. That was amazing. Okay? Yung mga titos of fighting na dadagdagan na po yung lineup namin. So,
And from industries na hindi natin
different
alam,
industries, and
di
I
ba?
was super surprised that he's been watching MMA and martial arts for like more than 10 years na pala. Grabe yun. Grabe.
Grabe.
Okay.
You wouldn't expect no?
Dude, yun, sobrang funny talaga how it all happened na tipong nag-usap silang MMA, nanood silang fight. And then mamaya-maya ang dami nilang tanong like, wow, these
Diba?
people are actually watching. Yeah.
So, kung meron kayong gustong sino pang bagay na maging guest at
meron bang
makasama namin dito.
hardcore fan or
Diba? There are
casual
hardcore Tito fans that you want us to have over. Send their names and
Or
we'll
titas.
reach out to them.
fan?
For titas.
Open din
So
kami.
many questions. Okay? So many questions for titas. Okay. And with that said, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you on another episode of Combat Sports Weekly. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Coach Franco says would like to thank the following sponsors for making this episode possible.
My armor of choice. Never go to battle without it. Beware the robot face. I am Knots and Crosses. Place your orders on their Facebook or Instagram pages. Just good vibes in the local jiu-jitsu scene. Check out my Ikiro Collective family at ikiro.ph. Simply Better Dentistry. Visit the Santos Dental Group and Oral Surgery Center. Book an appointment on their social media pages. Boost your immune system with Nano Silver Immune Support Supplement. Order your bottles on their social media pages. For local martial arts news here in the Philippines, visit Local MMA on Facebook and listen to one of my favorite podcasts, Destroy MNL.